Hey friends, if you're in a situation where you're getting into trades too early and out too late, or you're getting in too late and out too early, that can be very frustrating, especially in the kind of market that we're dealing with right now. And there's one major reason that I'm going to be covering in today's session of Trade Your Way to Freedom about that causes almost 80% of those kind of reactions in the markets. And it has to do with fear. And we'll explain exactly what that's about in today's session. We got a couple of great stocks to look at. And so if you will, hey, like, share, and leave a comment about how you're trading and what are you most afraid of in this market. Let's get into today's session right now. Good afternoon, everybody. Traders, I hope you're ready to navigate the market with confidence and help achieve your trading goals. Welcome to today's session of Trade Your Way to Freedom. Anil, it's always a pleasure to have you on board. I just love your market expertise and your stock picking capability.
It's great to be here. I'm enjoying and also learning a lot from here. So thank you.
All right. So anyway, during this live stream, folks, what we're going to be doing is we'll take a look at some insights into the strategies that we're utilizing and also two potentially winning stocks. At the end of next week, not next week, but into May, I will be kind of starting to report on the stocks that we have been picking, but we'll be doing a technical analysis on the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. We'll utilize their ETFs to do that review. Also, a really great trading tip today, and I think you'll like it. So, hey, if you're joining us over there on the YouTube channel, welcome aboard. Let us know if who's over there. The question for the week, please feel free to type this in the comments section. But what is your biggest challenge when it comes to trading, and how do you overcome it? Now, just keep it really, if you just want to say what's your biggest challenge is, just write that in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Anil, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to trading while people are filling in?
My biggest challenge, I'm working on it for a while, but that is to believe in the system and take action the time it comes.
Right.
Sometimes I wait for confirmation and it's too late. It gets away from me.
I gotcha. And so, yeah, I know that's kind of crazy. What about anybody else out there? What's just one of the areas? Okay, too big of a watch list. That's good. Watching everything and seeing nothing. Jim, that is so real. And that's one of the things we do with autopilot trading. We do hone it down where we're looking at 5 stocks and 7 ETFs. That's all we're looking at that's good. Anybody else? If something comes to mind, go ahead and drop it in the comments section. If you're watching the recording of this, also drop that in the recording into the comments section, and I will respond to your comments. And if you have a question about trading, make sure you place it over there in the comments section. I will respond to it. And if I don't have the answer, I will provide you a source where you can go find the answers. Okay, so it's time now to grab your pens and notepads and get ready to enhance your trading skills, because we're going to dive right in right now. So an overview of this session, what we're going to be doing, taking a look at the market movers for next week. So what are the market movers for next week? One, the Fed meets on Wednesday. The expectation, and it's over 80% probability that the Fed will raise the rates by 25 basis points. We have Apple reporting earnings on 5/4, which is, I want to say that is Thursday of next week after the market closes. We are in the process of rallying back into the big R. Now, what is the big R? The big R is resistance area. Resistance area, and we'll get into the charts here in a second and take a look at those. And let's see what else we're going to be doing here. We'll take a look at, I've got a great trading tip for you today. I think you're going to really enjoy an index review and 2 great stock picks. I got to tell you that Anil's pick and my pick today, I think, are in a good place for, if you're looking to buy. They're really, really close to a really good setup to be buying. So my question for today is and our tip for today is how to defeat FOMO, fear of missing out, or even just fear in the marketplace. I think that fear is one of the things that, one, it screws up our thinking. And actually, I've heard that Freud said that fear actually makes us dumber. Fear causes us to become emotional, and when emotions get involved and stimulated, they actually cause our IQ to go down. So, Anil, have you heard that before also?
Yeah, fear is a problem.
Fear is a problem. So here's a way to start defeating fear is one, stick with your trading plan. I make a good point. As I have my rules on one page, my trading plan is basically in the rules themselves. And so it's written down, it's very clear. I want to make sure that all my decisions in the marketplace are based on my trading plan. Number two is set clear entry and exit points. Those line of demarcations are very important because they're going to define basically your risk and your potential reward. So make sure that, and if you set those up according to your plan, it will help reduce impulsive decisions that are based on FOMO. Number two is risk management. Using a stop loss, I believe, is something that a lot of traders don't do, and it's costing them big bucks. If you don't using a hard stop, because I've heard it before, and I'm sure, Neil, you've heard this too, that, well, I'll set an alert. And when it hits the alert, I'll then, take action. And the fact of the matter is very few people actually take action when alert is hit. They just let the price run through their stop loss alert. And then what happens is they get into this game of trying to figure out, where's it going from here? Well, I don't want to take action right now. I'm going to hold on to it for it to come back up. And they're just, they're not following a disciplined a set of rules. Number four is have a solid routine. A solid routine is absolutely critical. And it doesn't have to be a lot of steps, but I think it should be written down based on your rules, and it can actually be scheduled out through the day and also for the week, and then rely on that to go back to it over and over again until it becomes habitual, and then focus on your long-term goals rather than those short-term gains, because the long-term is what we're all here in the first, that's what we're here for in the first place. And number six, if you get really wonked up with fear, take a break, get out of the market, go take a walk, make it where you've taken the pressure off yourself to make decisions. That's another reason why with the autopilot trading service, we utilize the conditional orders so that way we put it on our orders on autopilot and fire and forget, and they basically take care of themselves. And then the only thing we have to do from there is just manage the trade. And if we forget to go in to manage the trade, we know we have protection to the downside and a profit target to the upside. Practice mindfulness. And I know that sounds a little bit new agey and kind of kumbaya-ish, but practice mindfulness. What that is learn how to do box breathing. Box breathing is something that the Navy SEALs use to center themselves before they go out on missions. Learn how to box breathe. In other words, you breathe in for 7 seconds, and then you hold it for 7 seconds, and you breathe out. You can make the seconds longer than that. It's a great way to get centered, and you do that about 7 or 8 times, and it really refreshes you and it gets you going. And then lastly, learn from your mistakes. Journal and apply what you're learning. Lastly, avoid comparing yourself to others, trying to compare, because somebody's always going to have a larger P&L, somebody's going to be this, and that the only person you need to compare yourself to is yourself. How are you doing compared to the trader you were yesterday, last week, that kind of stuff? There's where your true measurement is. Don't try to measure yourself against Anil or myself or somebody or Mark Minervini or anybody else. Measure yourself about here's where I am, and these are the things I'm working on to improve. So that's the 9 things for how to defeat FOMO. Hopefully that helps. So master the few and watch your success explode. Anil, what do you think of those steps?
Yeah, steps are great. One thing I'm doing additionally lately is I set my alerts before the stop loss. In other words, if my stop loss at 5%,
yeah,
The alert at about 3.5.
That's an excellent idea. I like that. And so then you can take action on it, or do you have a hard stop already in place?
No, I have hard stop in place.
Okay.
But if I want to do something else, at least I'll do before it hits, not after.
Yeah. Leave that up for a second. There's our disclaimer. And I love how Mark McVitie says, hey, keeping a detailed trading journal is #1 tool for improving performance. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that's why my youngest son, Brandon, developed this great trade journal. I'll put a link to it in the comment section, and also there'll be a link to it when I send out the notification on the video when it's ready to be published. And so this is a really great journal. I've got nothing but really good comments about it. It comes in 2 different sizes, a mini journal, which is 8x9 or 6x9, and the other one is 8.5 by 11, a full legal size.
I'm started using these journals now, and I use the bigger one. Okay. Really helpful.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. So let's take a look at our performance. But first, before we do the performance of the market, Anil, how about we take a look at the stocks that we're looking at for the week?
Okay.
And I know that you are calling in on AEM. AEM.
That is correct.
So that's a gold mining stock.
Yep.
So what's the story, and then how are you going to trade it?
It has a very strong fundamentals. Accumulation, distribution, and comp rating and up-down volume ratio are great. And I got signal on my system. So actually, I own it. I picked it up earlier this week. Okay, cool. So you got here over here? Yeah, and it's still viable.
Okay, I agree with that. Now, it did its past earnings, right?
Yes, at past earnings.
Okay, earnings were actually this morning at 7:30. Okay, excellent. So you're going to basically buy it anywhere from where it's at down to what, the 20 period moving average?
Yep. And as I said, I already have it. I might add some.
Okay, roger that. And so, and then I know that you will maintain your 5% stop loss on that, and then add, and then also probably target. How do you target your exits? So, are you targeting them on a percentage amount or getting to a certain technical area level?
I have it in 2 ways. I usually am looking for roughly between 10 to 15% profit, and I'm also watching my triple screen.
Okay.
If triple screen sell signal before that, then I might take a very close look whether I want to keep it or get rid of it. I also at that time start watching the weekly MACD and where it is.
Okay.
Then decide.
Okay. Excellent. You guys everybody, you may notice that I have included the RSI on these charts. I'm taking a look at RSI because many people do not have the market forecast unless you trade the Thinkorswim platform. And so I'm doing some investigation on RSI and its signals as compared to the TSI. Sometimes it's a good idea to have a double momentum signal in there. And so as I do my research, be looking for a presentation in the very near future, and maybe just direct a video over on the YouTube channel. If it is, then I will let y'all know. And so that was your stock. Okay, here's my stock, Anil, and I'm sorry I didn't share it with you earlier, but CPRX. Now, of course, it looked really good earlier this morning. No. CPRX, it has basically been in a pullback. We're in a triangle type situation here. I took the Fibonacci's. It from this low to high, it has pulled back into the gold, the magic fib box, as I like to call it, down to the 618, or not the 618, 618 or the 38% retracement level. It looks like it's holding there. I do not have a reversal signal yet, but I'm looking for that. We may drop a little bit further all the way to the 200-day moving average, but I really like this. It's got a comp rating of 99, accumulation distribution of a B-, which means it's being bought. Up-down ratio, not that great, but this stock, what's the notable thing about this stock? Anybody? Anybody? Notable thing about this stock. Okay, the notable thing about this stock is very simple. It was the very first stock on the IBD 50 to begin the year 2023. That's one of the reasons why I keep track of every stock that comes onto that list from the beginning of the year, because occasionally it fell off the list. And now I don't know if it's going to come back on the list, but when I took a look at it, I'll run through that list occasionally to see where it's at. And when I saw it popping up on my top 5 list, or my running top 5 list, I'm going, aha. And so I recognized it for what it was. And so again, don't have a reversal signal yet, but it's looking pretty good. You know, look to your left. We're right at a level of past support where it broke out from, and we'll see what transpires from here. So Anil, this is my pick.
So where would you buy it if you buy this?
That's a great question. I mean, I could buy it right here or closer to the 618 or the 38% retracement right here. I could buy it also if it breaks back above the 50% retracement. That is a good way to trigger utilizing the Fibonacci trigger system. So that's another area where we could get that, which would also take me above the high of the low day, which is right there. Gotcha. Okay. And those are often good places. So like I said, yeah, I could buy it here. Where's my if I bought it right here, my stop loss would be about 3% away, because I wouldn't want it to take out the low of yesterday. And so if I wanted to nibble here, I've got momentum shifting. I've got a 2-line cluster on the weekly chart. I have to be cognitive that it could fall all the way down to the 200-day moving average. So that's what we've got going with that. Yeah, Jim, I could wait for a cross of the TSI. My kind of a double hit like that is I would wait for the cross of the TSI. I'll wait for a bullish reversal signal candle. And since I don't have that, that's why I'm not in a hurry to jump on a position on this. But yeah, you're without a doubt, wait for that cross in the TSI. Good picks. Let's get over and take a look at the rest of the indexes here. This is the 21st. Nope, this is actually, this is the 28th. Here's where we were last week, up about 13% for the autopilot trading, beating the S&P. This week, we took a little bit of we were profitable for the week, but our trailing stops were hit on a lot of these, on a lot of the entities that we were open in. And so we're still pushing above 11%. So we're still on track for the year. Let's take a look at the indexes themselves. On the spiders, got a really messy chart here. I apologize for that. I will get rid of some of this stuff. But as you can see, the spiders have come up to this 50% retracement level multiple times, and basically has broken out above this trend line also. But this area of resistance that we see right here is still in play. And so what's the story on that? Why is that an issue? Well, what has happened is there was a bunch of buyers who came in here. There was potentially some buyers that came in here, but the buyers that came in here were expecting a really big rush and a move back to these past highs over here. Didn't happen. So let's say we have a bunch of buyers that bought at this place that are now sellers because they want to get back to break even. Every time price action approaches that, a bunch of sellers breathe a sigh of relief and jump out of the position they're in, drives the price back down. Now we're pushing up higher back into that area again. A bunch of sellers are going to start jumping on it. This level of resistance will stay in place as long as there are sellers there to impact it. Now, what kind of candlestick do we have on the weekly chart? We have a hanging man, which is a bearish reversal signal. And what do we have on a daily chart? Just a nice little move up off of the, because the other thing that this could be is a pullback to the trend line to kiss it goodbye, and then it's going to go onto a rally mode. I'm anticipating the spiders or the S&P, like the other indexes, to kind of go into a wait and see mode, waiting for the to wait until the Fed meets next week. Also remember, we still have a lot of earnings to go next week. The NASDAQ, same story, right back up into a resistance area. What's going to happen? Is it going to push it down or push it up? And we'll just have to wait and see. Price actions drop. This is positive. Drop below the 50 and drop below the 34. Oh, not the 50. Almost dropped to the 50 and then rebounded very nicely. So that's a positive move back up to the upside. The Russell is the index that's been giving us a little bit of issue in that. Let me blow this up a little bit here and shrink this down a little bit here. And the Russell, as you see, is the lagging index. Price actions have moved all the way up into the 20-day moving average. It is now stalling at the 20. Is it going to push it back down? And so the way I'll trade the Russell or IWM is I'll look for opportunities to buy down here about the 171.53 level, and I'll look to be exiting some of that at the 20 or up here at the downtrend line right now. On a weekly chart, what do we have? Not a whole lot. This is not a hammer, although it's a hammer shape. And the reason it's not a definite hammer is it's not at the end of a downtrend. It's happening at the end of a slight uptrend. The other thing to take a look at going into this week end is take a look at your monthly charts. Do you have any signals on the monthly charts on anything you're trading that would make them suspect? And so that's what's going on. And Anil, that's all I've got. I think the indexes are just kind of drive sideways and work within the range, waiting for the Fed.
Yes, I have, as I was telling you earlier, on all my signals, all indices, the buy signal is still intact, except IWM. IWM is not in the buy mode.
Is there a sell signal on IWM?
Yes.
Okay.
Sell signal is active.
Okay, got it. So, okay, well, that's basically what we have for today, folks. Anil, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us for Trade Your Way to Freedom. Anil, as always, thank you for your great stock picks and your analysis. And so, both Anil and I hope that you guys find this session valuable, informative. And if you did, please like and comment in the comment section and hit the thumbs up and share this video with other fellow traders, because your comments and shares help us reach more traders. Because the only place I show this video is on my basically the new website and Market Tech Talk YouTube channel. So I really want to try to reach as many traders as I can. So thanks again for joining us today. We won't see you next week. I will be in Bakersfield, California next week because my wife's twin sister is getting married. And so I will be enjoying a wedding in Bakersfield, but then, and then the week after that is also up in the air. I may be in Korea or I may not be in Korea. But what I'll do on those days when we're not doing a live session, I will put out a recording for those weekends. So Anil, you may have 2 weeks off, man.
All right.
Okay, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and look forward to chatting with you. And we'll see some of you at 12 o'clock, final hour. Aloha, and God bless everybody.